Hi guys, welcome to the Frugal Modeller, aka Peter CP Rail 8748. In this series, we'll be going over on how to pretty much model this great hobby of ours on a very tight budget. Unfortunately, model trains are becoming more and more expensive, it seems, every year. Locomotives, rolling stock, scenery products are getting more pricier, even though they're made in countries like China to bring down the cost originally. There still seems to be going up higher in price. The funny statistic is that model trains are one of the three most expensive hobbies in the world. Number one being collecting cars, number two fine art, and number three is model trains. There's people in this great hobby of ours that spend anywhere from 5 to 6 figures a year on this hobby. I pretty much am not part of that demographic. I'm on a tight budget. So for example, for every dollar that a modeler spends on average, I probably spend anywhere from 1 cent to 5 cents for every dollar normally spent. So practically, this is why I'm making this series. I'm trying to give back to the railroad community, paying it forward by helping people that want to do this great hobby but don't have the great financial means to enter it, and especially younger kids and teenagers that want to partake in this hobby but don't necessarily think they can afford it. So this is why I'm doing this video series. So in this first episode is going to be part one of finding resources to get started in this great hobby. And believe it or not, these are quite obvious resources now in our great technology-oriented world, but I'm still going to go through them anyways. They might be obvious to some of you guys, but not obvious to many others. But there's many resources out there that you literally will have for free. Don't have to spend any money. Some other resources are going to cost you a little bit. So the resources that are going to cost you a little bit are your books. And if you guys subscribe to Model Railroad, that's another great magazine to subscribe to or buy if you actually want to spend some money. The other way that you can spend money on resources is actually, if you have a car or transit, spend money on gas or transit. And actually, if you live close to a railroad, go and actually try to visit some of the industries you want to model, or actually rail fan some of the places, if you're lucky enough to get to the places you want to model. If you want to model locally, for example, and just see how the real thing operates. So if you want to design, let's say, a small yard, a switching layout, or a large yard, if you live in an urban center where you are actually close to a rail yard, go to a rail yard. Most of them are accessible viewing from public roads or overpasses where you can actually see how the yard operates. Sometimes some yards will actually, if you call in advance or talk to management of the yard, sometimes they will actually let you come by if you tell them what you're planning on doing, and let you see what's going on more close up. There's actually some railroads also that do family days and public days where they actually allow the public to come to train facilities and yards and train houses and stuff like that, so you can actually see what the railroad does hands-on. So you can do that. But the biggest free resource we have today, and now I'm going to be focusing on, is the internet. There's many publications, groups, and forums, and YouTube and Google searches that you can do that will actually give you great inspiration, great how-tos, put you into touch with a lot of great modelers to get you started in this hobby. There's a really big misnomer around the modeling today, that it's still a men's club, that a lot of the old model railroaders, the masters, don't really want to give up their secrets or like to teach newbies or new people into the hobby their secrets for modeling. That's actually not the case. If you go into the right groups, right forums, go to certain model railroad clubs or any model railroad club that actually has public days, most of the guys are going to be quite open, quite welcoming, and will answer most questions that you may have. So when this video continues, I will actually show you some of the internet free material that I use to help me in the hobby. Now, just as a disclaimer, I'm not advertising or telling you to follow these certain websites or people. It's just people and sites that I actually find helpful to me, and that they're run by a great group of guys that are quite open and welcoming and love to share ideas and hear ideas from newcomers as well. So when this video will continue, I will show you some of the resources.
When it comes to the internet, the most obvious free resource is the internet itself. So what I actually like to use is Google Chrome. You can use Microsoft Bing, you can use Yahoo, whatever search engine you want to use. It's a great storage of knowledge for any type of subject, especially model railroading. So for example, I put making rock molds. So the good thing with Google, it categorizes into YouTube videos, websites. You can now even have images of rock molds and how to go about it, different types of rock molds. So for example, latex mold making, how to build a fake rock with cement, which obviously you wouldn't use that for model railroad. Maybe if you're doing a garden railroad, that would work for you. Making rock molds using kitchen caulk in Model Railroad Hobbyist magazine, which is actually, I'll be going into that in a few minutes. Also, if you want to do prototypical modeling or get more information on the model of the railroad you want to model, for example, I do the Canadian Pacific, you can actually go into search, go into Canadian Pacific, and it actually found about 1,240,000 results. Here you can basically go into the history of the railroad, the company, what kind of commodities they deal with, where they go, which other railroad companies they do track sharing with, and stuff like that. So basically, your search engine is your number one friend when it comes to free resources for the great hobby. Another great resource that I love to use is MRH, which is Model Railroad Hobbyist. It is a completely free online magazine. It's actually, in my opinion, as good, if not better, than Model Railroader. You don't have to pay for a yearly subscription or buy the odd issues. It's completely free. All you have to do is provide them your email when you register. The only service that they have as a pay service for a monthly subscription fee is their Train Masters TV, which is their premium web channel. It goes into their modelers that contribute to this magazine's layouts, their modeling techniques, covers everything from DCC installation, wiring of your layout, building your layout. If you want to do in-depth videos and you can afford monthly sum, I believe it's somewhere between $5 to $10 US a month. A lot of great videos that will give you a lot of great knowledge. But the actual magazine, which comes out every 2 months, so it's a bi-monthly magazine, it's actually a great magazine. So it's like any other magazine, just in online form. So as you can see, it has a cover. So in this one, for example, which is June 2015, it's Realistic Conifers for a Railroad, read how. You can actually skip to that page by just actually clicking it. It'll just say jump to page 132. So for example, in this magazine, the table of contents that you will have is, you will have Sean Tomlin's UP Oregon division. So you'll actually have an HO scale layout in the magazine. Adding sound to a blue box diesel, better blue box electrical performance, or how to use virtual signals with GemRI. So each issue will deal with different aspects of the hobby. So again, great content, great place to get free knowledge of model railroading from beginners to experts. Another great resource is YouTube. So for example, on my channel, I primarily follow a lot of different modelers. They go through how-tos, rail fanning of prototypes, prototypical modeling. They're actually chronicling building of their own layouts. So for example, a couple of the guys that I love for different reasons that I like to follow. Vinny, or BNSF 6951. He has great videos when it comes to scratch building. He's a great scratch builder. He has a lot of videos posted of how he actually makes the buildings from scratch to finish. So that's actually a great channel that I follow. Another great guy that I actually follow, and I'm going to go to his website as well, is Ron Perry. He actually runs a website, or helps run the website, called the Modelers Guild. He started, like the rest of us, from pretty much trying to learn to doing the hobby, modeling, and he's actually a very exceptional modeler, very realistic modeler from my neck of the woods. He actually lives about an hour from me. Again, great channels. He also actually runs modeling Google Plus Hangouts chat every Sunday. He actually publishes his own shows where he has other guests, other YouTube modelers and modelers in general, talking about modeling, scenery, photography, wiring, starting the layout, any type of subject. Like I said, a very great guy. You want to check out his website, Modelers Guild, which I will actually have in the notes section of this video. So again, another great guy to follow on YouTube. But you will actually have a lot of different great guys, different great channels on YouTube that you can follow. YouTube Model Builders is actually another great channel that you can subscribe to. Not only do they have live shows and hangouts, they actually also have an emig as well. Their website is youtubemodelbuilders.com, and I actually will also post the link in the description below. Again, run by great guys that actually follow on YouTube. Has actually been created by YouTube modelers. Another great resource on the internet is model train forums. So basically, there's many of them out there. Not going to tell you which ones to subscribe to or to join. Usually on forums, you'll find great guys that are willing to help. You can post any questions. You can follow their posts, their layouts. It's pretty much like YouTube or your search engine. And lastly, but not least, believe it or not, if you're part of Facebook and that community, Facebook has actually great model train resources. Basically, I'm part of a couple of groups. One of my favorite groups is YouTube Model Railroaders, started by Derek Glass. He pretty much was the guy who spearheaded this group. Only stipulation of this group, you actually have to have a YouTube channel. Not necessarily post videos. He likes actually his members to post videos to share ideas, but as long as you have a YouTube account and follow some of these guys and just follow the railroad community, you can be part of this Facebook group. And again, it's not all YouTube videos. You have product, what people bought, what people are working on their layouts, tips. You can ask questions, do comments. And again, great resource, great bunch of guys that are on this Facebook group. And again, there's many out there. If you just go to Facebook, go under groups, search groups, just type in model railroading. And again, just another great resource on the internet for free to get your model railroading fix and your inspiration and planning and any type of knowledge you need to start your rail layout, and not only start your layout but basically progress in the layout, learn, perfect it, master it. Many great guys to help you along the way. So guys, I hope this video wasn't too redundant or cover things most of you guys already don't know. Hopefully this was a little bit eye-opening and helpful to some of you guys. Again, like I said, the internet and the real world are probably your best resources for this great hobby of ours. Part 2 will be coming in the next couple of weeks, and Part 2 will actually focus on how to actually plan your railroad on paper when it actually comes to your track plan and the size of your railroad. So as always, guys, please comment, like, and subscribe to my channel. Any questions you may have, please leave it in the comments below. And again, guys, I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.